Welcome, ladies, degenerates, and gentlemen, back to the DeGents podcast. I'm here on a solo Wednesday night, Blackout Wednesday for Thanksgiving week. As you can tell, a little bit of congestion going on here, and Rich is busy as well. So we're going to do a quick solo, get those Thanksgiving picks out for you guys. 4-4 last week for myself. Kind of got boned on a couple lines. Titans with a backdoor on the Seahawks. Lions never stood a chance on the 14. Pats win by 6. I had the 6.5. And the Bucks got absolutely smoked. So that is my bad. Rams are very good. Season long, both of us went 1-1. We will do another weekend episode to update those standings as well and give out season long picks. This one is going to be a quick run through of the games that we didn't talk about. And then the 3 games on Thanksgiving. That's what we got for you guys. Um, and I'll throw in I got a Black Friday pick as well. Um, but we talked a little bit about the Texans beating the Bills on Thursday night. That's a huge one for the Patriots. We'll start it in Baltimore, 23-10, Ravens over the Jets. A little sluggish for the Ravens offense, but they pull out the win. They do not cover by the point. That was a 14-point spread there. But they played with their foot a little bit in the first half, but they get it done. And they win when they have to. Their backs have been against the wall since after their bye week, and they continue to win. And then we had Bears 31, Steelers 28. This was a close one. Bears pull out another close one. Um, I'm just realizing I messed up my pick. So I went 5-3 actually. I had the Steelers plus 3.5. That's on me. So 5-3, I mean that's much better. They did cover that 3.5. So my season total would be 52-48. So I made a little comeback there. Good thing I noticed that because I didn't even realize that I hit the Steelers. That's why you buy the points in a couple situations here. Didn't help me in the Pats, but did help me in the Steelers. And the Chiefs as well, which we will get to. But speaking of the Pats, 26-20 over the Bengals. Really slow first quarter and bad first quarter overall for Drake. Some really bad throws. They figured it out as the game went on. And they pulled out the win. A couple bad injuries as the game went on. Um, Obviously, Will Campbell getting placed on IR today is not ideal, along with the fact that Milton Williams was placed on IR last week. You could see that with Chase Brown having a huge game. Blew out the rushing record against us this season. It was like 54 yards. I think he rushed for 100 plus. Um, so those injuries are going to get you. Luckily, we do have a late bye. I think Milton Williams will come back after his stint on IR. Will Campbell is kind of up in the air because they waited a bit to see what was going on there. But yeah, got to get healthy. But either way, get the win. Did not cover the 6.5 where I bought him to. Rich hit the Bengals on the 7.5. But yeah, overall good win. Some adversity is not a bad thing for us. We're only 10-win team in the league, so that's not a bad spot to be, as bad as it looked in the first quarter, first half. So yeah. Lions pull out the win 34-27 over the Giants. Do not cover, obviously. This game went to overtime. Jameis Winston is an absolute stud. Lions were on the brink of losing this one, but as I've mentioned the past few weeks, the Lions do not lose back to back, and they figured out a way to come out on top here. Jahmyr Gibbs, 260 plus yards from scrimmage. He's an absolute beast. It's unfortunate that Jonathan Taylor and JSN are having such good seasons for myself because I took Gibbs Offensive Player of the Year at the beginning of the year, and that would be a nice hit. But he's trying to keep his name in the ring there, and the Lions are finding ways to win. as we go along this season. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about the Lions. But hey, Jameis is fucking entertaining at the very least, and we'll see what we get to with the Lions here coming up. They got the Packers in the first game on Thanksgiving, which we'll obviously get to. I mentioned this one, Seahawks 30, Titans 24, backdoor cover for the Titans. Um, yeah, good, first real good sign of Cam Ward. I would say all season. They hung in this one as best they could. Obviously, the Seahawks are a much better team. I think everybody knows and understands that, but big spreads sometimes that'll happen, and maybe they can roll that momentum into next week. Seahawks, I think, are still a very good team. But Titans at home put up a pretty good performance by their standards, and they get the cover. But Seattle gets the win. JSN, another huge game. Again, tough. I mean, I love JSN, but really wishing Jahmyr Gibbs can push his way into that Offensive Player of the Year conversation. It's going to be tough with those two guys ahead of him. And then CMC as well as the third favorite. They played on Monday. Uh, Packers, no Josh Jacobs, dominate the Vikings. 23-6 was the final there. Packers win and cover. I know Rich was on the Packers. That was one of his season-long plays as well. Um, yeah, JJ McCarthy is looking to be not the guy. He's in concussion protocol again this week. Um, yeah, tough spot for the Vikings, but Packers defense looks great. Offense still kind of trying to find their way. Obviously, no Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed on IR. So they've battled their injuries, but they found ways to win. But they dominated this game. Emmanuel Wilson was the first 100-yard rusher for the Packers all season long. And this is the first game Jacobs has missed. So that says something for sure. But yeah. And then, of course, we had this one overtime. Chiefs by the skin of their teeth. I said I was taking the Chiefs. Thank God I bought them to 2.5. That is why you buy the points. Like I mentioned earlier, 23-20 was the final comeback in the fourth quarter. Colts had this game pretty much the whole time. And the Chiefs find a way to win with their backs against the wall. They have to keep stringing off wins here to have a chance to get into the playoffs. And that is why I bet on them, and that is why I will continue to bet on them. I'm not done. I said if they didn't cover this week, which they did because I bought the points, I was going to be done with them, but they won by 3. The closing line was 3.5 or 4.5, depending on where you got it. That is why I pay the extra at the minus 143 to get the 2.5 because they win by the field goal. Knew it was going to be close. Much needed win for the Chiefs, and the Colts. Colts would have loved to have that one. They had a couple chances there, but the Chiefs buckled up and they made it happen. Next up in Las Vegas, 24-10 for the Browns over the Raiders. Shedeur Sanders, first rookie quarterback to win his first start in decades. 24-10 the final. He looked good, I'd say. The two touchdowns, or the two first touchdowns was Wildcat with Judkins. But Shedeur did his job. They had a bad fumble by Judy. Other than that, I think the operation was pretty clean with the guy making his first start, and the Raiders still. Raiders might be the worst team in football, and I'll leave it there. Jags at Cardinals, 27-24. This game also going to overtime. Jags did their best to lose this game, but they pull out the win in the end. Jacoby Brissett continues to be a viable option for the Cardinals. And Trevor Lawrence, I guess you never really know what you're getting with him, but again, they pull out the win. Big one, 7-4 for the Jags. Somehow, some way, they make it happen. Falcons 24-10 over the Saints. That score, I don't think was indicative of how close the game really was, but the Falcons get a win. Kirk goes first start. And, I think we all know who the Saints are this year. In division, those games are always tough. Again, I don't think it was a 14-point game most of the game, but that was the final score. Falcons cover. Eagles at the Cowboys was a tough one for Philly fans. 21-0 at halftime, and they did not score another point. Obviously, this was probably Craziest game of the week. Dallas wins at 24-21. The Dallas offense, man, it's legit, and the defense buckled down. They haven't been great all year, but they showed up when they needed to, and they kept their playoff hopes alive. A couple mistakes by the Eagles, of course, helped them out. Sometimes you have to have the ball bounce your way, and that's just how it is. Dallas gets the win and the cover, and I snuck by that under of 47 and a half by the skin of my teeth. 45 points total, and we had a couple goal line stands and turnovers late fourth quarter in overtime. I didn't think I thought that one was dead mid fourth quarter, but hey, I'll take a win any way I can get it. And then the best team in football, 34-7 over the Bucks on Sunday Night Football was just a horrible, horrible pick by me. Baker goes out. I mean, I still don't think they had a chance to win this game. The Rams are just really, really, really fucking good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a spot where, sometimes you can kind of sleepwalk a team that's struggling against a team that's strung off however many wins in a row, but was never the case. I mean, they were up 21 zip early, and it was pretty much over in the first quarter. Devontae Adams continues to be probably the best red zone threat in the NFL. Rams defense playing unbelievable. And then again, obviously you have Baker getting hurt, his left AC sprain. Um, Expect to see a guy like that back, but you never know. Um, and then Monday night, 20-9, pretty snooze fest game here. A lot of turnovers, 3 picks for Purdy, 1 for Bryce. But the Niners get the job done on a Monday night. Monday nights have been pretty, pretty bad so far this year. And that continues. Chris McCaffrey continues to impress, however. Okay, quick one here. Let's get into the Thanksgiving games. I will do the weekend with you guys later on. We have Packers at the Lions, 1 o'clock Turkey Day. Lions minus 2.5, total set at 48.5. I'm going to be on the Pack plus a 3.5 here. I'm going to buy it. Like I said, always buy those points. Let me just get you the number on that really fast. I have Rich's picks as well. Packers plus the 3.5 is minus 145. That will be my play in this game. Um, yeah, I don't know. Lions in an overtime game battle. Defense is going to be tired on a short week here. I know they're at home, but they seem to kind of been scraping along here. Not that the Packers haven't, but Packers were up most of the time against Minnesota. I expect them to be fresh and ready to go. And Jacobs is looking like he's going to play. It's not a guarantee. Um, I don't know if that necessarily would shift the line, but definitely does make a difference to have another playmaker back there. Um, and again, with the tired Lions defense, I expect the Green Bay offense to maybe play up to their caliber here on Thanksgiving, big game. Richard is also on the Packers, but plus the 2.5, minus 105. So he's taking the line where it is. So we're on the same side there. And then KC at Dallas, Chiefs minus 3.5, total set at 52. I will be on the Kansas City Chiefs minus the 2.5 in this one. I told you if they lost or didn't cover, I would have been off the Chiefs, but back against the wall. Mahomes made it happen. I believe he does it again. In Dallas, you're telling me this is basically a pick 'em with a 3.5 point spread. So if the Chiefs were at home, this is almost a touchdown spread, 6.5, 5.5, 6.5. I like the Chiefs here. Again, back against the wall. Have to win. Have to keep stringing off these wins. So I'm going to stick with the Chiefs here, minus the 2.5, which will get you minus 146. Again, laying some juice, but I do it for a reason, as you can see last week against the Colts. And for Rich, he will be on the over 52.5, 52, depending on the book you get it at. I can see that. A lot of points being scored here. Great Cowboys offense. George Pickens, second in the league in receiving behind JSN. He's having a phenomenal year. And the Cowboys are making it work. They're trying to claw back into playoff contention as well. Both teams, this is a huge game, probably biggest game of the year. Um, Loser, most likely out of the playoffs, but then again, you never rule the Chiefs out. Uh, Dallas is going to be tough. Chiefs at 6-5, Dallas at 5-5. So this is a huge game. Winner of this game moves on and stays alive. And mathematically, they may not be eliminated, but in my opinion, I think the loser is done. So Chiefs for me, -2.5, and over for Rich. And then the nightcap on Thanksgiving, Bengals at the Ravens. Ravens -7. Total set at 52.5. And Rich and I agree. I'll be on the Baltimore Ravens -7. Joe Burrow is coming back, but the Ravens are starting to hit their stride here. Defense is playing really, really well as compared to earlier in the year where they were playing awful. Um, and Lamar hasn't looked great since he came back. Lamar and the offense in general, but I expect him to get the job done here in division. Joey B probably going to have some rust. So I like Baltimore to cover the touchdown. I'll probably buy that to 6.5. And again, I will get you guys that number really quick here. 7 right now. Things could shift a little bit. Pretty even, -110 for both sides. But Ravens -6.5 is -129. That's the play I will be on. Buying the hook. And that's about it for Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Again, I'll have a weekend episode out for you guys, whether Rich is in it or not. And then a little bonus play for me. I'm going to take the Eagles -7, hosting the Chicago Bears on 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. on Black Friday, excuse me. I said it last week. Bears have been pulling out some miracle wins. Um, I don't know if I'd necessarily call last week a miracle, but again, a close win. Um, Eagles coming off a loss, a bad loss where they gave up 24 unanswered. I expect them to come out and be able to run the ball against a Chicago defense that has some pretty big injuries and take care of business and cover the touchdown. So I'll be on the Philadelphia Eagles -6.5 here. Um, and the odds on that are -131. So laying some juice, three favorites and an underdog, Packers being the only underdog. But favorites are 40-20 on Thanksgiving against the spread. Pretty good number there. Black Friday is a new thing, so there's not much stats there, but I just like the Eagles on a bounce back. Um, so yeah, Pack +3.5, Chiefs -2.5, Ravens -6.5, and Eagles -6.5. And Rich is on the Pack plus the 2.5. Chiefs Cowboys over 52.5 and Ravens -7. So that will do it. Start of week 13. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy it with your families, watching some football, relaxing. And I will see you guys in a few days um, to do the weekend slate as well. Let's keep it rolling. Follow the socials. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Peace.